sometimes if we work on a tune for a long time, we can run out of ideas or words. We have like hiccups in the same place. Every chorus, this chord comes around and we have a hiccup and it sort of destroys the flow of the entire improvisation. So today I want to talk about a jazz standard which is very popular. It's called There Will Never Be Another You. And especially at the end, the last 4 bars, I know that many people struggle with those chords there because they come really quickly all of a sudden. I'm going to show you a really nice trick at the end of this video that you can use to reduce those chords and navigate them more quickly or more easily also, right? So if we have a chord, a voicing like the C major 7 sharp 11 here, we can, as an experiment, just like write down all the possible 12 notes that could be the root of this chord, and we can come up with a bunch of new chords. Especially this voicing lends itself for this exercise extremely well. So let's use the C major 7 sharp 11 chord a fret lower. That would be the B major 7 sharp 11 chord. I think many of you might know this voicing here. And now just move the F sharp to the F. So that's basically just another way to play a B major 7 sharp 11 chord. Now the fun stuff is we can use this chord. The chord stays absolutely intact like it is, like 1, 3, 5, 7. We have everything in it, right? We have the 1, the 3, a sharp 11 instead of the 5, and a major 7. And we're going to use this voicing to outline a G7, an altered chord. So we're going to play a G on the rooter, on the looper. And now let's analyze the chord one more time. Major 3rd, flat 13, flat 7, sharp 9. So this voicing gets sort of a new friend. And in this tune we have a 2-5-1 going to C minor, right? D half diminished, G7 to C minor. And we're just going to use this voicing on the G7 chord. Or we can just like try to find a line. I like to see this voicing in the altered scale. That would be F melodic minor. What I like to do, I'd like to play a line that sort of incorporates this arpeggio. And then I can use the same voicing on the C minor up here, and on the D half diminished I can use it as well. Right, so like this I have a shape that I can just, use, visualize and play something with it. And I can visualize all those shapes in the melodic minor scale. It would be the same pattern, but of course it sounds different. So I'm going to demonstrate. Now I'm picking. Another thing that is always very cool and works very well in many places are chromatic 2-5-1s. So if we are in C major, we can play like a D minor 7, G7 going to C major, right? And then we can just shift the D minor 7 and the G7 a half note higher, and then that we do in our head. So the chord progression on the paper stays the same, but we want to do something different. So we would think the 2-5-1 a half note higher in our head. We can use a lick to really outline that. There Will Never Be Another You. We also have a 2-5-1 going to the tonic, right? So we could use the same trick. If you're using new stuff that you maybe can't hear and understand from, a hearing perspective, be sure to use a line or a lick that really helps. So you could, for example, play. So when I use a lick a half tone higher, I'm not resolving it to the tonic. The tonic never appears. Just use the part that's on the 2/5. If I have a new idea that I want to explore, I record only that snippet of the chord progression and then I copy and paste it into my solo later on. So now we added chords in our mind, right? We can do that without even the other people playing the chords behind us. That can give like a cool clash, you hear that, right? But also this tension then is released and that's really beautiful. I advise you not to depend too much on the lead sheet. It's more like a general outline. It's not that it's all wrong, but sometimes we can make assumptions that doesn't really help us, right? So in this space here, E flat, C minor, probably people are going to play something else. So please check out piano player and saxophone players, check out transcriptions and look what they're doing, right? And one thing that we can do here is add another chord. We play the E flat major, the G7. That would be a secondary dominant, and that leads to C minor. And that secondary dominant not only gives a lot of forward motion to the minor chord, but it also sort of puts a spotlight on the minor chord. It's no longer, you know, like an E flat major and then a C minor whatever sound, but now it's like, look, we're going to minor, even for a very short time period. And for those small and quick changes, sometimes we need to address them, sometimes we can ignore them, but here in this spot I would like you to address them, and it would be nice to have like a small lick that works on it. The last 4 bars are maybe the most tricky chord in this tune. Here I want to give you a shortcut, and now we're going to reduce the chords instead of having more chords. We're just going to think in our head one chord, and we're going to have the A half diminished, D7, that's going to G minor, A flat 7, G. We're going to think just D7, a nice place for a diminished arpeggio, going to G minor. And on the G minor we're going to play something like G minor arpeggio. Or we could also play like a voice lead. Also sounds very cool. So let me demonstrate. The thing here in this tune specifically is that we have the tonic sort of so late, we have it in the last bar. Very often we have the tonic in the second last bar. Those things really do matter. Every tune is special, every tune has a thing that we need to recognize, and that can help us, instead of beating ourselves up that we can't play something. It's always a good idea to look at the specifications of the problem, right? What's hard here? And here again we can just like take a line maybe on the F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat. Whatever it is, I really strongly advise you to have like those small licks on 2/5/1s, 5/1s to minor or major, always come in handy. And then just practice to play this lick in the right place and then improvise around it. I'm going to demonstrate. So I'm not playing on the chords, I'm just thinking again. Another thing that I never dared to do, which is of course, is to play the altered scale on a 5 chord that goes to a 1 chord that's major, right? Why not turn the B7, B flat 7 into an altered chord? Then we can think on the F minor we're going to play Dorian on the 2 chord, right? And the B7 we're going to think B, melodic minor, and then tonic. Always advise you to record chords for a long stretch of time if you're new to the sound, and then speed it up later. So I'm going to record it really slowly for a start. I love melodic minor. So I'm just trying to improvise some very clear lines, and what I like to do is to sort of develop a pattern in the F Dorian scale and sort of try to take that pattern into the B melodic minor scale, if that makes any sense. And then of course, depending on the tempo that you're playing in, you can be more or less weird. If it's faster, you can maybe be more weird. I don't know if that's even true, but what I just remembered when I played that song, that is, if we're on the C minor, we could also play a B minor leading to the B flat minor here, which is a little bit like Sunny, I know, but this sounds really cool, and that again gives us the possibility to play something, to repeat something, and you know, just play the same thing. And another thing that I really like to do is to play a tritone substitution. The place where I like to do that the most in this tune, I don't know why that is the 2-5-1-2 A flat major, and then I'm just thinking, instead of E flat 7, I'm thinking A7, and I'm just playing a plain arpeggio. So let's try if I can do all that stuff while improvising in a C round. Bye.